How y'all doing? Welcome to the Banks Book Club. The book we giving y'all right now is Prom, Kween. This is Chapter 2. A lot of y'all coming over from Philip Banks and story time over there with my prison stories. Over there, everything is real deal. You know, that's my life. But over here, I'm going to give y'all my stories. Not my story, but my stories. So, welcome. Have fun. If you wonder why I started with Chapter 2, because I started Chapter 1 over on the other channel. Now, if you ain't been on the other channel, Philip Banks with a $sign. Go check that out. Watch some of them stories. Find Prom, Kween, Chapter 1. Start right there. We'll see you back over here in a minute. For everybody else, Chapter 2. Let's pimp on. So at this time, Susan's standing in the middle of the street, and she watching the Cadillac get smaller and smaller and smaller, and she kind of feel like, really, she feel like a damn fool. And then she watched the car get smaller and smaller. It's kind of like she watching her hopes and her dreams just drive off. You know, she had a couple of aspirations when she left Alabama and came up to Chicago. She wanted to be somebody, like everybody else, come to the big city where the lights set. It ain't New York, but it's Chicago. This Chi-Town, baby. You make it happen in Chi-Town. And she ended up running to a pimp named Fancy. Now, as she stood there, it just echoed and bounced around in her head all the things that her mama had said, things that her sister had said. You know, don't go down there. You're going to run into a pimp or something going to turn you out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to end up in a ditch. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And like I say, she would kind of feel like a fool right now. All this shit was flooding back to her, but it snapped out of her when she heard somebody hollering for her, hey. And she looked, and it was the red dress and the yellow dress, and they tell them, come here. So she like, me? And they like, yeah, you, come here. She sat down across the street and make her way across the street. And when she get over there, these two hoes, they look up and down. You know what I'm saying? As if they can really tell what's going on in her mind by her outside appearance. But they looking up and down. I see why Fancy chose you. She like, huh? Like, yeah, I see why he picked you. You pretty, girl. You fine. Look at you. So, you know what I'm saying? Give them the once over, the twice over, 3 times a lady. You know how it go. So, they introduced themselves. And white dress is Joy. Now, Joy look exactly like, and you gonna trip. In my book, and in these stories, pals, I'm gonna tell y'all a lot of people gonna look like certain people. And that's because I want you to get a clear view of who you dealing with. I want you to read my books, and I want you to see this in your head like a movie. So I want you to know that Joy looks like Nia Long. Nia Long. That's what Joy looked like. The other girl that Suzanne met was Sheba. Now, Sheba looks exactly like Angela Bassett. Maybe a little bit darker, but she look like Angela Bassett. Trust me on that. Trust me. So, what they do is they stand out there on this corner, and as they turn their tricks, they go back and forth, and they telling Suzanne the story of their life. Kind of like when you go to prison, everybody asks you what you in for. So, they asking basically how you got started. Well, this is the thing about Suzanne. Suzanne never did get started. She ain't got started yet. So, in that case, they go to telling Suzanne about their first trips. How they got turned out. Ended up on the strip And in between, like I said, they were turning their tricks. So Joy ended up telling her story first. And Joy's story is very sad. Joy was one of three. Meaning she was one out of a set of triplets. 2 girls and a boy. It was Shine, Joy, and Rain. Shine was the girl. Joy was the sister, and Rain was the brother. Weird names, I know, but it was back in the day, you know what I'm saying? They were born back in the day. Now, the thing is, one day, their mama had sent them to the laundromat. They had to walk probably about a half a mile to get to his laundromat to go check on his clothes. And what happened was, some guy rolled up in like Volkswagen bus, Volkswagen bus. But they pull up in one of those. And when they pull up, they jump out, and they jumped on Rain, and they beat him to death. They had sticks, they had bricks, and it was about 3 guys. They grabbed Shine, and they grabbed Joy, and they got him in the van, and they took him. And when they got him where they were going, which couldn't have been no more than a couple blocks away, they got him in the house. And when they got him in the house, there were a few more girls in the house, young girls, all of them teenagers. At the time, Shine, Rain, and Joy was probably about 14, 15. No older than 15. So, what happened was, Shine and Joy walk in the house, and 2 of the men walk off. One of the men stay with them, and he called the other girls out, and he introduced them. And he tell Shine, he tell Joy what they gonna be doing. And right off the bat, they like, no sir, not me. So the first thing he does is he grabs Shine by her hair, and he pulls her head back, and then he grabs her arm, puts it under his, and he breaks her arm. And Shine is sitting there screaming her head off. This girl's arm is broke, like snap. This is a little girl. He just broke her damn arm. She's screaming, her sister screaming. But they the only 2 people in the house screaming. The rest of the girls are sitting there looking like, hey, this is normal. We done seen this before. This is nothing. So, as the girl Shine is screaming, he tell one of the other little girls, he like, hey, take this bitch upstairs, shut her up, and bandage her arm up. And the girl grab her, but she don't grab her like a friend would grab her, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, girl, let me help you. She grabbed her the way he grabbed her. By her hair, bitch, come on. And drug her up the stairs with her broke arm. This girl's 15 years old. The girl that's grabbing her couldn't be no more than 16, 17. And the rest of the girls just standing around like nothing going on, nothing spectacular, you know what I'm saying? So, at this point, he tell them, hey, y'all inform her of what's going on, tell her the rules around here. And they told her when he left, they like, look, don't run, don't fight back, don't talk back. Whatever he say do, you better do it. Because if you don't, he not going to take it out on you. He going to go upstairs and take it out on her. And if he tell her to do something, and she don't, you will understand why you getting your ass beat. Why you getting your neck snapped. Why you getting your leg broke, your arm broke. Why you getting beat with a baseball bat or a chain. Or why he seen you out there in that room with that dog. So if I was you, I would do whatever the hell I was told to. Now, this is the messed up part about it all. She wanted to buck. You know what I'm saying? Joy wanted to buck bad as hell, but that's her triplet up there. Like, she feel what this girl going on. She wasn't just screaming to be screaming when their arm got broke. She felt that pain. You know what I'm saying? She felt that pain. So, scared out of her mind. She done already watched her brother die. She didn't watch her sister get her arm broke. This shit like a movie, man. It's like a bad dream, and she can't wake up from it. She crying, but these tears ain't gonna wake her up. These girls around her, they ain't got no sympathy for her. They just telling the girl, you better shut your ass up. She cried all night. And they beat her ass that night for crying. They beat that ass for crying. Beat her bad. And when dude came through the next morning to feed them, he looked at them. He looked at the rest of the girl. And he just asked if she was crying, huh? Yeah, that bitch was crying. He looked into her, nah, you can't be crying. You gotta get some rest around her. Go on, get up. It's time to go to work. Now, this wasn't no ordinary pimp, because he wasn't ordinary hoes. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just put them on the corner and tell them to go to work. But what he did do is he drove them around to little country towns with the truck stops. And he would tell them, hey, start on this end and work your way down. If you do something funny, if you say something funny, if you tell my business, if you tell anything about me, if I see anything suspicious going on, I'm going to drive off, I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to go to the house and kill your sister. And that's how things went for about 2-3 months. After about 3 months, she didn't see her sister no more. Her sister had got moved to another state, another city, or something. That's all they told her, is that she was somewhere else, working somewhere else. Same rules applied. If you fuck up, she gonna pay for it. So if you come in here and you get to getting your ass whooped or something, you know your sister fucked up. That's how this gonna go. So if you love your sister, you need to stick to the motherfucking script. Now, Joy went through this until she was about 19. That's a long time to go through shit like that. But Joy went through this until she was about 19. And it wasn't all with the same dude. She got passed off a couple times, you know what I'm saying, sold a couple times. And she finally ended up getting away because she was with a man that got killed in a poker game. His loss was her winning her freedom. Only thing is, at this point, she didn't know what else to do with her life. Sex was all she knew. How to shut the hell up and listen to what a man tell her to do with her body. That's all she knew. So she made her way to Chicago. And she ran into a pimp named Harold. Handsome Harold. Now, she went through some shit with Handsome Harold, but she went through some shit with all her pimps. She ended up with Fancy. So, that's the story of Joy and how she got turned out. But they sat and they told Joy these stories, and they taught Joy and they told Joy what she needed to do. And finally it was time. You know, a trick came through and he chose Joy. And they proceeded back in the alley. Now back in the alley, you got doors. You got multiple doors. It's 3 doors, matter of fact, because it's 3 holes. And in these doors, it's like a broom closet, but he got them set up. Fancy got his broom closet set up like a small hotel room. You got mattresses, they on the floor. You got a lamp. and you got a table, kind of like a nightstand, but you pull some out your pocket and you just put it somewhere. You got stuff in there, so you can do that. The only rule Fancy got is here. No more than 2 rooms at a time, because he always need a bitch standing there watching. Watching for police, watching to make sure her sister's straight. If everybody fucking at the same time, everybody hustling at the same time, who the hell watching? Because when you get busted, y'all gonna get busted at the same time. You're gonna lose all this money. Work smart, not hard. So, at this time, Joy's getting ready to go back there. And Suzanne is already back there. When she gets in her room with the trick, the first thought she has is, oh my God, what am I going to do with this dress? Like, she's nervous, and she don't really want to take her dress off. And the thing about the dress is, Fancy bought her this dress. So she's not too keen on putting it on the ground. So she finally decided that she's just going to pull this dress up. Right around the time that he decides he's just going to pull these pants down. The dress go up and the pants go down. A couple cheeks start moving all around. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what happened up in there. The man spent this money she earned her keep. So they came up right there. By this time, Joy is already in the next room handling her business, and she was on stand out watching. So Suzanne makes her way back out to the corner, back to the street, and she chopping up with Sheba. And Sheba, you know what I'm saying, is giving her the game, telling her a few things. And she realized Sheba ain't like Joy. Joy got a lot of mouth on her. Joy got a lot of mouth on her. She from New York. And it's just, you know what I'm saying, she's more rambunctious, rowdy. She is the alpha out here, you know what I'm saying? That's Joy. All the shit she's been through, she ain't seen it out. She's the alpha. But Sheba is more of a motherly type. You know what I'm saying? She's more nurturing, more concerned. And she's telling her about her story. Sheba is from Oklahoma City. And the way she got turned out was, she used to spend the night with her big cousin. She was spending the night with her big cousin, and this one particular day, they was all in the living room in the bed, like the couch let out to like a couch bed. So they let the couch bed out, and she was laying at the foot of the bed, and her cousin and her cousin's boyfriend was laying like the long way. So it's like, it's hard to describe. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. You got the bed. The TV and shit is here. So this is the foot of the bed here. And this girl is laying this way. Well, the boyfriend and the girlfriend is laying this way, head this way. The boyfriend laying beside his girlfriend, head this way. They propped up like this watching TV. The girl just happened to be laying in front of them, in between them and the TV, but the TV is up here, so they looking up. Well, old boy is touching, it seemed like he touching and rubbing on Sheba. And in the middle of it, like, while she looking at her cousin, trying to get her cousin's attention, trying to catch her eye, like, so she can tell her, hey, your boyfriend is rubbing on my legs and touching on my booty. You know what I'm saying? The cousin jumps up and runs into the kitchen. So while she's in the kitchen, the boyfriend gets a little more aggressive. And he's on her. And you can hear old girl from the front door, or from the front of the house, yell to the back, hey, I'm putting to run across the street. I'll be back in like 10 minutes. So the door slams and he proceeds to rape the shit out of this little girl. Now, after he does all this, the cousin comes back and she doesn't notice anything is wrong with her cousin. She's laid in the bed with her boyfriend. They hugged up. Everything go by. Nobody ever says a word. Now, a few weeks later, different boyfriend. They sitting on the bed, and it's Sheba's cousin, Sheba's boyfriend. I mean, the cousin's boyfriend. Different boyfriend. Well, this time, he's reaching around his girlfriend, and he's funneling this girl. And when she looks and tries to tap her cousin looks at her, looks at him, gets up and says, I'm fit to go take a shower. Jumps in the shower. The boyfriend does the same thing. Only this time, when he leaves, and this is a different dude, but this time she sees it. When he leaves, he gives the girlfriend some money. And the reason why she know what it was for is because he overheard the man tell her, hey, shit, you should get her some. She earned it. So that's when Sheba knew that the cousin was in on what was happening to her. And Sheba had already ran away from home, so she ended up running away again. She ends up in Chicago. But there was years in between Oklahoma City and Chicago. She spent some time in St. Louis, where she did some things, put some change, made some people holler for $1, gave a little fuck for $1. You know what I'm saying? A little something strange, for some change, dirty Wayne for a dame, slap a pickle for a nickel. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. She made it to Chicago, real life pro. Lo and behold, ran into a pimp named Fancy. And on that note, I hate to do it, but we're going to conclude chapter 2. See y'all next time. Till then, do it the long way, not the wrong way.